Hello there, I am Miss Tola. I'm here to teach you something new and interesting in mathematics. Welcome to the world of numbers, shapes and all the beautiful things that you can find in the exciting world of mathematics. In this lesson, we will learn about data and data collection. Data is a word we have heard and used in many of the lessons before now. But it is more than what we know. So, there's certainly lots more you don't know about it. Data is a collection of facts such as numbers, words, measurements, observations, or just descriptions of things. Data can be qualitative or quantitative. Qualitative data describes information. It describes something. For example, you can say, "It was great fun hanging out with my friends today." That is qualitative because it describes a feeling and an event. More examples of qualitative data are: he's brown and black. He has long hair. Quantitative data, on the other hand, is numerical information. It deals with numbers. Quantitative data can be discrete or continuous. Discrete data can only take certain values like whole numbers. Continuous data can take any value like decimals within a range. Let's simply put it this way. Discrete data is counted. Continuous data is measured. More examples of quantitative data are: discrete. He has 4 legs. He has 2 brothers. Continuous. He weighs 25.5 kilograms. Is 565 millimeter tall. Also, things like height is continuous. Weight is continuous. Petals on a flower is discrete. Customers in a shop is discrete. To help you remember this better, think quantitative is quantity. Data can be collected. In fact, data needs to be collected and sorted for it to be meaningful and useful for any purpose. Data can be collected for lots of reasons. Data collection is a task of gathering and measuring data in an orderly way. If you do not have clearly defined, accurate information, all the decisions you make using that information will not be accurate or reliable. The simplest way to collect data is by direct observation. Let's think of an example about counting cars on the highway. You want to find how many cars pass by a certain point on a road in a 10-minute interval. So, stand on a bridge or near a road and count the cars that pass by in 10 minutes. You might want to count many 10-minute intervals at different times during the day and on different days too. We collect data by doing a survey. To do a survey, we pick a small number of people and ask them questions. We can do surveys by carrying out a census, which means we collect data for every member of the group or the whole population, or use samples. Using a sample is when we collect data just for selected members of the group. For example, let's assume that there are 120 people in a local football club. You can ask everyone what their age is. That is a census. Or you could just choose the people that are there this afternoon. That is a sample. A census is accurate but hard to do. A sample is not as accurate but may be good enough and is a lot easier. That was an interesting lesson, right? Now, let us remind ourselves about some of the things we have learned. A. Data is a collection of facts, such as numbers, words, measurements, observations or just descriptions of things. B. Data can be collected for lots of reasons. Collecting data is the task of gathering and measuring data in an orderly way. C. Data can be qualitative or quantitative. D. Qualitative data describes information. E. Quantitative data uses numbers to describe things. F. Data collection is the task of gathering and measuring data in an orderly way. G. The simplest way to collect data is by direct observation. H. We collect data by doing a survey. I. To do a survey, we pick a small number of people and ask them questions. J. We can do surveys by carrying out a census or by using samples. Great! Before we finish off here, let me ask you a few questions. This will help me know how well you got on in the lesson. Are you ready? Alright! 1. What do you understand by data? That's great! Data is a collection of facts such as numbers, words, measurements, observations, or just descriptions of things. 2. What do you understand by data collection? That's excellent! Data can be collected for lots of reasons. Collecting data is the task of gathering and measuring data in an orderly way. 3. What is the simplest way to collect data? You're absolutely correct. The simplest way to collect data is by direct observation. 4. How can surveys be carried out? That's fantastic! To do a survey, we pick a small number of people and ask them questions. 5. What types of data are there and what are they? There are 2 types of data. They are qualitative and quantitative data. Qualitative data describes things. Quantitative data uses numbers to describe things. I hope you learned new things in the lesson. I learned new things too. I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye.